Hello. Um, well, if you watched the first one and you watched this one, well, I mean, there's not much of a surprise to it. This is about me. Plus, hell, it's probably titled that way, right? It's just kind of a personal update for those that are curious. So, what's going on with me? Um, well, I tend to ramble, so it's kind of easier to start at the start. So, I'll give you a little bit of foundation. I've played games for forever. Since I was a kid. I think literally at 3 years old, I was playing it in television, playing baseball and football against my dad. And games have always interested me, so I've always played them. That doesn't mean that I've always felt it was worth playing them, because ultimately games don't really matter. Bowling doesn't matter. Tennis doesn't matter. But it matters to people that choose to be a professional in it and dedicate their lives to it. And to an extent, gaming is something I've dedicated my life to. So while sometimes I might be a little wishy-washy on it, it is important to me. And I recognize that it's important to me. So it's something I do. In terms of the more immediate future, I have been fixing shit for 10 years, fixing machines, fitness stuff. And I basically tripped across a few people that are like, hey, if you do this in a factory, they'll pay you 3 times as much. And I kept hearing this number, 70,000. I'm like, that's pretty amazing. I mean, I've been making 20 for so long, like, shit, if you assume taxes and it goes to 60 or something, 10,000 goes off to taxes, or hell, maybe it's more. Like, that's still what, $40,000 sitting in a fucking pile of cash in the corner per year? Like, that's just bizarre. What the hell, man? And yet I kept hearing, no, it's you could do it. So I didn't know who to apply to or what to do or where to go. And then I met somebody who was a temp agent. It's like, well, why don't you just find a temp agent? They connect person A to company B, and then magic. Well, fuck, that sounds cool. So I went to a temp agent. They said, well, there's no money in fitness equipment. Gotcha. But yeah, if you want to do this in like a factory or whatever, sure, that's definitely doable. But do you have this certification? No. Well, you're going to need this certification. So I did the certification. I go back and they're like, well, I think you should be pretty excited to start at 35. Not that 35 isn't more than 20. But when you've had a number in your head for like a year and a half, it's startling. So oddly enough, this temp agency just hasn't been doing the gig, and maybe I should contact others. I don't know. But I had an opportunity to do the fixing machine stuff and potentially pursue, that number. I think it's completely out of line with the fitness industry, but I mean, I don't know. But literally the first day on the job, every part of my being was like, I don't know about this one. I gave the story on stream, and maybe I'll actually give a formalized account of it or whatever. But the long and the short of it is I accepted the position, and then I quit the next day. It was not for me. It was not the time for me. It's not the next step for me. I don't know. So I find myself in this interesting transition space. And all the more, I was really blown away with the CC Exodus. And for people that don't know me, I mean, I'm primarily a WoW streamer, so I would assume that I play World of Warships. The CC community contributors, whatever, there were a bunch of people that left. They had their reasons for leaving. There were good reasons, and they were absolutely justified in their choice to leave, which hopefully will lead them to happier lives, because it was really frustrating the fuck out of them. But I, for whatever reason, I was told a long time ago by a guy that I have a lot of respect for, God puts you where you need to be, not where you want to be. And I mean, it sounds like some magical thinking, and whether you believe in God or not, it's more the concept of life is going to take you in a direction. And if you want to try to ride the river and see where it takes you, it's going to do certain things. Some places you might not like, some places you do, but that's a conscious decision if you want to kind of go with the flow. And I did make a conscious decision several years ago to go with the flow. And it's led me a lot of interesting places. I've met a lot of interesting people. I've had a lot of interesting encounters. I think I've grown a lot as a person doing what I've done. So while I had, for instance, the potential to be in the game industry 10 years ago, it didn't happen, but I don't think I'm worse for it. So it's not like I have tons and tons of regrets per se, but this also means that right now feels like a transition point, and I don't know what I'm transitioning to. I thought I did. I thought this factory thing was, well, yeah, sure, shit, I got the certification, they said numbers, hey, and it's just turned into this giant ass pain that's not going anywhere, which is weird. And then maybe there was this other thing, but no, that's not it either. Okay. Well, so I'm not exactly sure what the next part is. I don't think I have the ability to be a full-time streamer because the amount of donations you need, the amount of subs you need, and constant viewers you need is startling. Because realistically, if you're aiming to get like $1,600 a month, say, you know, as like a living to be able to pay rent, which is what, $1,200, and then utilities, which is $400, and then, well, I guess you just steal all your food if you're only making $1,600 a month. That's a lot, you know, when a single sub is $2. So that's 800 subs. I currently have like 120, and a bunch of those are gift subs. So that's pretty big bar. I ain't there. So I don't think that's going to be the thing for me. So the question is, where do I go? And I haven't figured that one out yet, but I haven't figured that one out yet, but I'm working on it. And I want to say that I'm happy to be in a position where I can work on it. So I am thankful for the people that are subbed to me. I'm thankful to the people that chip a few bucks into the hat to say, hey, we really like what you do. Because it means a lot for me, and it allows me to have the time to figure out what I'm trying to do. I actually started dating again, which was shocking to me. Hadn't done that in like a year and a half, 2 years. Had a few good interactions. Nothing's really taken yet, but the fact that it's happening is exciting for me. Just because, I don't know, it's novel, damn it. So, yeah. The CC Exodus, I'm going to say I dumped a whole lot of my spirit into that. I know it's just getting out information, but it's just, you know, riding the wave of that tidal wave was a massive investment in energy. There was positives to it. I'm sure there's a lot of negatives to it. I think there are a lot of people that probably will never listen to me again because of how I don't want to say picked a side, but how I approach the situation as like a third party, say. But I don't know. It's confusing times. But the good news is that over the last 1 to 2 weeks, I've recovered a lot from that. I've been streaming a lot more. I've been talking with people. I actually went out on dates. I'm having a life again. And for me, that's actually pretty important. We'll see if it matters. So, I don't know. I just figured I'd give a little bit of an update as to what I'm doing, you know, me being me, and, you know, I'm a little confused about it, but sometimes it's fun to be able to kind of talk about things that you're currently confused about. Just put it out into the ether. And, yeah. And, I didn't even ramble about this for 30 minutes. So in the future, will I continue to do little life updates? Just kind of talk about what's going on and throw it onto the internet so people can look at it and be like, what the fuck is this? Maybe. Maybe, you know, between Twitch, YouTube, and this, I could probably have a little 5-minute, 6-minute update thing maybe once a week, just to give people kind of an idea of what's happening, what to expect. But no commitments. Just saying it could be a thing. Anyway, I don't know. I'm glad I made the video, even though I don't think it did anything. But maybe it did. I don't know. Have a good one.